because I've given you a little bit of a hard time this week that when you say your introduction, because I've heard you say your introduction about 1,001 times now because we're involved in so many things. I was literally practicing your introduction in the car on the way here. I was like, I think I've gotten it to the point where I could say it almost exactly the same way you did.
Okay, can we hear it then? Can we hear it?
I was like, I kind of want to just be like, I don't want Sadie to introduce herself. I'm just going to do it in the exact same way that she normally would.
Do it once before
Do
we
it once?
into it. Yeah,
okay, do I have to say it as I'm introducing you, or do I have to say my name is Sadie Swier?
No, do your own and say it with my inflection.
Let's say it really quick. So say Dakota Jordan, but with your inflection.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the Sadie Swier introduction, everybody. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Dakota Jordan, and I am the owner of Dakota Yoga. Is that not exactly it?
That was it. Yeah.
I love it. I love how so many people. Okay, so here's like a 101. Like, this isn't even supposed to be an educational thing necessarily, but like this is. I think I give you a hard time, but you do such a really good job with introductions of getting people to like stop and pay attention, because I think so many people are like, hi, my name's Dakota, I do this. Hi, my name is whatever, I do this. And then when it gets to you in the room, you're like, hello, everybody.
Hi, you guys.
I am here. And like, but people stop. Like, people stop and pay attention. And it is enough of something that like I literally can remember it. And I know that I'm not the only person out there that is like, I feel like I could introduce Sadie Swier because they've heard it so many times, right?
Yeah.
So you are you're doing a great job of introducing yourself, and I love it.
I'm gonna keep it up then. Gonna keep it up.
Keep it up. Keep it up. People are stopping and they're paying attention. So let's see. A lot of people probably have met you if they're involved in YPN, because you're all over YPN and you're also all over Downtown Sioux Falls. So tell us, maybe not that you need to, but tell us more. Tell us more about your role within DTSF and what it is that you actually do and why people see you everywhere all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question, because even as I'm going out, people are asking me like, community outreach coordinator. So what exactly do you do?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And at first I was like, what do you mean you don't know what I do? You don't know what a community outreach coordinator does? And then I'm like, wait a second. It's actually pretty general. So yes. I'd like to start a little bit of history first, because I have personally, I think, a really cool story with my position right now. Because I actually I'm from Hartford, South Dakota, so right outside of Sioux Falls here. And I did my first ever job shadow with DTSF, and that was my junior year. And so I just was very into the program. I really liked the people who worked here, and I kept in contact with them, did an internship one summer. And then when I did my last year of college, graduated, and they had a position open. And it was just kind of one of those things where the stars aligned, and I was like, okay, I need to do this. And it was a great introduction to Downtown Sioux Falls. It was some admin. I was doing social media, content creation, taking minutes at all kinds of committee meetings. So it was such a good introduction. And then just through other transitions over the next couple of years, being able to take on more responsibilities and therefore get some new roles. So took up more on marketing, more on the PR side. And now from February of 2020, I've been in this position as the community outreach coordinator. And so my three main job responsibilities are everything with sponsorships. And so a lot what you'll see public facing for Downtown Sioux Falls, whether that's burger battle, block parties, River Fest, Parade of Lights, those things, we try to find partnerships that make a lot of sense. And so I get to chat up those events and ask people to donate to them. So shameless plug, we got a lot of opportunities. Just contact me for that too. And then Downtown Sioux Falls is like a little chamber in itself in the downtown community. So I deal with our 250 members, going to try to get it to 260 by the end of 2021. Nice. And so recruiting, renewal, everything like that, I'm usually the contact person. And then you probably see me on all the things because I also am the first contact for all PR things, TV interviews, radio, just really trying to be a voice or a connector to somebody for the media and trying to talk about downtown Sioux Falls. And I absolutely love it. This summer, when I'm done with this summer, it'll be the 5th summer I've been with downtown Sioux Falls, and I could not imagine being anywhere else, especially right now, because Sioux Falls is insane. I mean, it's so much fun. Never thought I'd like it this much, truly.
Yes, but you really are. I mean, I call you the queen of downtown. I don't know if anyone else refers to you that way, but I give people titles. Rana DeBoer, who is the chief culture officer of the city, I call her the queen of the city. Yes. So I don't know, being the queen of of downtown is kind of, I don't know, that's maybe like a duchess of the city or something. I'm
my God,
turning this into a whole royal family situation here.
I'll take like the mouthpiece of downtown, just talking about downtown. I mean, I'll take any of that. And that's a big compliment, because it's like, I truly believe it's almost easy in a sense, because I love my job. And also because, thanks, Kayla. Thank you. But also, I mean, it's a great place to talk about. And like, it makes my job really easy when there's so many incredible things happening. And I just have to be the mouthpiece for it, really.
Yeah, it's
fun.
Darn
it, my job is to promote great places to eat and drink and hang out at. So dang it.
What a terrible job.
Oh, gosh,
so bad.
Someone's got to do it.
I know, somebody has to. Sadie Swier is taking it for taking one for the team. So thank you for that. So good reminder here that I forgot. If you have any questions for Sadie about anything, you can drop those in the comments if you are following along with us on the interwebs.
It's a hot seat. So like, fire them off.
Yeah.
I want, if you have a tough question, like lay it on me, because I want to do the same to the other people in the other hot seats.
Yes. We haven't had any like fired off, like hard questions for our hot seaters in a while. I feel like it's been a few interviews for me where I've had one come through where I'm like, ooh, good one. So let's come up with some good questions today, people of the internet that are out there watching us. So we talked a little bit about downtown, and I know that you are very, very passionate about downtown. But I want to know, what else is Sadie Swier most passionate about? Or are we just living, breathing downtown Sioux Falls? There's got to be more.
There is more. Yes, there is. So that's a hot question in itself. But yes, I would say, honestly, what fills my cup, what fuels my fire is really connecting and being inclusive. And that is what I'm really passionate about. I would say probably one of the other groups that I'm most passionate about being included in is the Bridging the Gap community and being on that steering committee, because something that's to my core and one of my values is including people, and whether that's different race, ethnicity, ability, I am very excited to be part of those conversations and use my voice and use my platform as a very privileged person in doing that. So I'm very passionate about that. But besides downtown, besides what you'd probably see me posting about on my social media, something like that, truly what I like to do is I also like to go camping. Dakota, we've talked about this. One of my favorite things to do, even though I don't do it a ton, is go to Yankton and camp. I love the river, being beachside, doing some kayaking. I'm very passionate about that. And as well as going to museums. I love I love traveling and visiting museums. I love the old courthouse museum here. Oh, inject it into my veins. I love it. If we want to do a YPN visit to the Pettigrew House Museum, let's do it. And so my favorite niche museum is the old mansions, the old Victorian, Edwardian mansions. Someplace on my bucket list is going to be going to the Palace of Versailles. So, I mean, I would say those are things that I'm passionate from like core values to some things I like to do that you might not see on the DTSF promotional side.
I didn't know that. I would say that I'm pretty close to you. And I would say that's one thing. Like I knew about the camping thing. I knew about like being outdoors in Yankton and stuff like that. I did not know you were that into like museums and history and stuff like that. So
like what I would like to do and what I've been trying to do, and talking even about mental health too. Here's the pull on that, you know, doing more things just by myself. And I was really proud because, yes, I'm comfortable being by myself, but also I just feel this need and this pull to do it socially, you know? And so I actually went to the old courthouse museum by myself, and it was awesome because I actually got to stay in the exhibits as long as I wanted to and didn't have to zip through them. So like doing stuff like that is what I'm trying to work on in that self-care and mental health, is tapping into those parts of me that aren't really downtown Sioux Falls, but that I'm still really passionate about.
I love that. And I love that we're still in May. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And, you know, that's something like I love, you know, in my position, you know, in the work that I do, I take people out on hikes. And I have a shameless plug. I have a retreat coming in this fall. You should look at it and sign up for it, in the Black Hills. But for me, that's kind of what hiking is yeah, I can go with people and that's fun, but I can actually stop. I can take breaks. I can stretch, or I can, you know, pause and stare at the trees for however long I want to if I go out into nature by myself. And that was really intimidating for a while to do that. But even I think like the more intimidating things are like taking yourself out to dinner, like at prime time. And I've done that before. But I feel like they're very like kind of scary, but empowering things for you to do, and like very impactfully for your mental health, to say like, I can do this by myself, and like experiencing that and like forcing yourself to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. I don't know, maybe for some people that causes them so much anxiety that it's not good for their mental health. But I would say that a lot of people are probably on the brink of that being something that would be very beneficial for them. So do more things alone.
but in a mentally healthy way.
But in a healthy way. Yeah. No, I don't know what we're promoting. But thank you for sharing that. So there is something that you brought up that people here might not know what that is. So can you explain a little bit more about the Bridging the Gap Fund and what that is, and your involvement, and kind of a little bit more on that?
Yeah. So the Bridging the Gap Fund really came from, and I wish we had somebody to pull up from the audience to help me out with this too. But really what it's all about is, many people in the YPN audience are familiar with Leaders of Tomorrow. And so to sustain not only Leaders of Tomorrow, but some of these other aspects that were closely related to really bridging the gap in that DE&I situation for Sioux Falls, this was a community foundation fund that was established for that. And so there's a couple different pillars, and I'm going to try to name them all. But one was leadership development. Another one was community engagement. Another one is storytelling. And there is a fourth one that's workplace training and development.
Nice.
So talking about like Leaders of Tomorrow with the leadership development, storytelling, which is talking about trying to get more people to talk about homelessness in the city, or talk about different events that are very special to some audiences that we might not be very familiar with, or something like that, storytelling. And then pathways to equitable workplaces and inclusivity would be a group that could apply for these funds and talk about it and be able to work within these organizations. We're all familiar with Keir Kimball's work with DE&I. And the last one, community engagement. And so doing special projects within neighborhoods of Sioux Falls that need some of that mentoring. I mean, we talked about Sioux 52, you know, where can we go into and do some more mentorship initiatives and talk about how we can get more of Sioux Falls connected to these groups in need. And so Bridging the Gap is a fund, and I'm on the steering committee for that. And it's a new fund, so we're still working through a lot of stuff with it, but it's just really cool, and it really hits to some of my core values.
That's awesome. So if people haven't, I think I think we think that everyone knows what Leaders of Tomorrow is because we've both been in it. But for anyone who's like, I don't know what Leaders of Tomorrow is, sometimes you'll often heard to people referring to it by its acronym, which is LOT. LOT. Some people say LOT, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where that came from. But we were in one of the original cohorts, so we're saying that it's LOT. We're just gonna make that executive decision. But it is an amazing leadership development program that was really put together with the intention of, yes, there's lots of really great leadership development opportunities within Sioux Falls. However, is that hitting everyone? And are we really being intentional? The difference is that this one, you don't have to pay for this. It is a scholarshiped leadership development program. And so that might open up doors in different communities to hit. And so really creating a class that is ultimately better for everyone to have access to more diversity within it, that sometimes other programs don't have because of it costing something or certain things like that. So I know that my world really opened up, like even my friend group and the people that I knew in regards to like diverse experiences and, you know, even just the shades of skin of people that I have friends with, you know, like has really opened up since being in that program and having more crossover and finding more of our similarities than differences. So for anyone, that was my little LOT spiel for anyone. So
that is I will say, shameless plug, transformative experience, and very directly relates to the YPN audience. So yeah, Leaders of Tomorrow. LOT.
Yes. Is this the YPN Hot Seat or the Dakota and Sadie shamelessly plug all of the things you should be involved in Sioux Falls show?
No, we're sick. This is sick.
We got a lot of cool stuff that we want everyone to know about. That's all. We just want to share it with you. You should know about these things. If you don't, look it up. I hope everyone is like side Googling, like as they're watching this right now. I hope they're opening different tabs of like, oh, I need to know about that. Oh, I need to know about that. Yes, you do. Go Google it.
Do we only have like 10 minutes left?
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Kind of. Let's go through some more stuff. Okay, so now let's wrap it back to YPN. Okay, so there's all these other amazing things going on, but we obviously this is a YPN affiliated thing. You are a YPN member. So tell us a little bit about your YPN story, how long you've been a member, and then maybe like your favorite YPN event or why you're involved in YPN type of spiel.
I love it. Well, I knew from the very beginning when I started my professional journey, my adult professional journey out of college. So 2018, I knew I was like, I would need to do a networking event. I need to do that. And so my coworkers at DTSF at the time said, hey, you should join this. And so I was like, okay. So my first ever YPN event was 2018, 19. What was the 10th anniversary of YPN? 19? Uh-oh. Kayla's gonna.
I think so because we just celebrated our 12th birthday.
Yep.
So that math works.
So 19.
Right? Yeah, 19.
Sure. Yep, we'll do it. So it was the 10th anniversary, but it was so cool because, I mean, I knew I wanted to do a networking thing, but at that 10th anniversary party, it was a great turnout. It was at the Museum of Visual Materials, but I also learned the story of YPN. And got to see more of that context of the growth from it and where that need started. And I had a deeper appreciation and I was like, oh my gosh, for my first time, this was a great event. And it really was. And then I would have to say, doing the Kringle has been my friend Ben Brewster there. Shout out to Ben. I would have to say though, the past couple YPN events. Oh, had a great time at Great Shots. Oof, that was fun. I would say the Lunch and Learns have been my favorite. And those are the events at noon at the chamber in the conference room. And to me, those have been the most beneficial because yes, I get to do a little bit of networking and chat with all of our other YPN members, but we bring in business professionals or community leaders and we get to hear more of their stories when we're probably not going to see them at a YPN mixer to talk with them, like Dan Doyle or Tamian Dysart, or who else did we have? Chef Dom. but being able to hear those stories and talk to them and ask them some questions and interact with them on a little more of an intimate level has been amazing. Like I'm like, oh, where's the lunch and learn, or what's the lunch? And I will sign up for every single one of those. Plus free lunch.
Seat at the tables are probably one of my favorite events as well, because I think that is something that it just gives people access to, like what you're saying, gives people access to people to have a conversation. And even like Tamian, we just did one with Tamian not too long ago, and he's one of my biggest mentors. We have spent a ton of time together, but I learned so much about like him and his background during that was insane. And so you get to hear the stories that, like, even if you knew these people, or even if you saw them or kind of knew their business story, you get to know them on such more of a personal level, which I think is something that you can come back to, and like it just gives you an opportunity to like email them and connect further, right? Where like it might be like maybe they wouldn't see it, or maybe like if you just like sent them a cold email and was like, hey, I want to talk to you, so I think it just gives us access. People also love YPNers. We're everybody's favorite group to hang out with. So once you're in. Of them. Yeah.
But I would also have to say, speaking about Tamian's Lunch and Learn, I had a takeaway from that I have been thinking about constantly. And you want to know what that was?
I do want to know what that is.
When he talked about like acting and performing at a position above you, or acting like, thinking like, and so like that is what I've been trying to actively do, because there's times when I'm kind of like, that's not my job description. And like, I'm not saying mental health month. I'm not saying go do a bunch of work, set boundaries, and make sure to know your worth, but also thinking and helping out in situations that you could say, oh, well, what can I support you in? And what can I do for you? And thinking about what the person above you would do in a situation. And that's been in my head since that Lunch and Learn, since the seat at the table.
Yes, that's a good one. And it's just, you don't have to wait until you have the title of leader to be one.
Ooh.
So just drop bars.
They would without the title.
Exactly. And that's everything that they, they teach, right? Is leadership is influence. So it doesn't matter what your actual title is.
That's YPNers. Talk about a group with influence that may not have the title yet. That's all of us. Oof, I'm getting fired up. Let's go make change.
We're gonna start giving people the juice over here. Just firing people up. Come here for your motivational speech of the day. Know your worth. You are a leader. You're awesome. I love it. So those are your favorite events. Tell us a little bit about like your YPN story. So you're just in. Now you're just in. You're fully encapsulated by the Kool-Aid jar. You're just in it, swimming.
And I would have to say too, I think YPN has been great, and like I love it so much, but I like would encourage people too to try other networking events like 1 Million Cups or Leaders of Tomorrow. And I mean, I think it's beneficial to go to different networking events and not just have one networking group, and especially in Sioux Falls.
And there is so much crossover too, even like, and that is, there's so many different opportunities. So for people who are really looking to get more involved in volunteering, like Emerging Leaders with United Way is another great group that does a lot more volunteer opportunities. And I think that's sometimes what people don't understand is like which kind of like each group kind of has its own place and the things that they do. So like there's volunteer things that we do within YPN, but really we're more, education and networking and things like that. And there's other groups where maybe it's more of that smaller group networking type thing, or more of a volunteerism type thing. So yeah. And then you'll probably see YPN people there. So we're literally everywhere. We're just taking over. Okay. So this is a really good question. I want to make sure that we answer this one because I always love how people answer this. But what are the 3 words that best describe you? Are you pulling your notes out right now?
I am
ready to go.
I did think about this. I would say 3 words that I would like to describe me is inclusive, vivacious, and welcoming.
Okay. Those are your 3. Give us a little context of why you chose those 3.
I think inclusive and welcoming are very similar in the fact that there's an openness to them. And I think even the word open, I think, is a very special word to people. But one of my affirmations I say every day is that I will treat myself and my community with kindness, positivity, and love. And that is what I try to approach everything with, everything I get every day. And it's tough sometimes, and sometimes I forget, but being welcoming to not only other people, but also to myself, and trying to work on that is what I want to be known for. And I want to be known as somebody who anybody can come to. And that's what I want to be described as. And then vivacious, because I think energetic might have a negative connotation sometimes, because people are like, oh, they're very energetic, and that might get too much. But vivacious is like alive, full of energy, but also a little fun. Like you want to be around them.
I would say that word very accurately describes Sadie Swier. I love that you picked that. Because I feel like vivacious has like a little bit of sassiness in it as well.
Yes.
That, like, energetic doesn't quite have.
Yes.
So I feel like it is like this balance of like, it is positivity, but like, I'll hold my ground.
Get into it,
I'll give it to you. Yeah. And like energetic and alive and all of that. So.
And my 4th word would be downtown. No, it won't.
Words to describe Sadie Swier. Downtown. I mean, you live downtown, you work downtown, you have fun downtown. Can you name a restaurant outside of downtown Sioux Falls?
I used to live at 85th in Minnesota, so quite a ways out there, or at least it felt like. And
I feel like you're stalling so that you can give your time.
Shout out to Tinners. Shout out to Tinners. I did enjoy a good Tinners brunch. They have delicious brunch.
Okay.
So there you go.
I just wanted to give
Ask
you
me to name a second. I can't. No.
You know how they tell you in interviews of how you say to someone like, that's a great question, because it gives you time to think about the answer. I was like, you're stalling to think about it, because everything that's coming to your mind is downtown restaurants right now. And you have to think outside of that. Swier. Swier. I just used your name. Yeah. I said Swier instead of Spear. That's funny. Okay. So before we get into, do you want to tell people about how they can connect with you now, or after I ask you fast questions?
Best way to connect with me, email sadie@dtsf.com, or I would assume that most people have social media, so just slide into my DMs.
All right.
How about that? Or can I tell about my Bumble profile?
You should be connecting with Sadie. If you want to be involved in downtown Sioux Falls, you should be connecting with Sadie. If you want to be involved with YPN, Leaders of Tomorrow, Bridging the Gap Fund, if you want to give some money to downtown Sioux Falls to have your business name on stuff.
Yeah. And volunteering. We need volunteers. We really
volunteering, if you need a volunteer opportunity.
It'd be fun.
I hear there's some amazing beer tent opportunities with some free beverages. And it's also, as Brienne said, being a beer tent volunteer is a great networking opportunity.
Yes.
So you're like killing all the birds with one stone.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Seems violent. That's a very violent saying now.
It is. Well, let's think of a new one.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't think of it right now. I'm going to ask you rapid fire questions because we have like less than a minute left, even though this isn't exactly timed. But are you ready?
Yep. Oh boy.
I have these off of the Google.
I was not prepped for this. Okay, go.
Well, that's the point. You can't think about it and you can't explain it. You just have to answer it.
Oh, okay, go.
Okay. Cookies or cake?
Cookies.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Computer games or video games?
Computer games.
Pop or rock music?
Pop.
Stuffed animals or dolls?
Stuffed animals.
Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
Hot chocolate or coffee?
Coffee.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Okay, coffee wins. Morning or night?
Morning. Morning.
Okay. Text message or call?
Text.
Library or museums?
Museum.
French or
Museum.
Spanish?
French.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Theater or cinema?
Theater.
Really?
Yes.
Working
Even
at
Sioux Falls State Theater.
brief pause in the rapid fire questions. Sadie Swier works at the historic Sioux Falls State Theater, and you should go check them out and go see her. Okay, back to rapid fire. Love or money?
Love.
Book or movie?
Movie.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Comedy or horror?
Comedy.
Paper or plastic?
Paper.
Singing or dancing?
Dancing.
Superman or Batman?
Batman.
Downtown or South Side?
Downtown. Was that a trick question?
It was not on here. I made it up. Just trying to throw some other ones in there. Ooh, let's see. Okay, this is one we're gonna end on. Ketchup or mustard?
Neither. Ranch.
I feel like this needs just to say there needs to be a banner that's like Midwesterner.
Right.
Ranch.
Dude,
Wow.
I used to tell people how much I loved ranch, and once people started sending me like memes and like tagging me and stuff about like Hidden Valley Ranch, I'm like, wow, liking ranch cannot be a personality trait. So that was my first really personal reflection. And I'm embarrassed to say it was like only a couple years ago. So yeah.
I mean, it is kind of a personality trait for a lot of people in the Midwest, I think.
I think so too, but
so anyway, there's lots of memes about ranch out there. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna end talking about ranch. So thank you so much, Sadie, for hanging out with me. This was fun. I'm glad that I learned a couple new things about you. And I hope that other people did as well. So go ahead and connect with Sadie. You can find her literally everywhere, but slide into her DMs if you can't. If you are interested in being in the hot seat and being interviewed by me or Corey, then you can shoot an email to Kayla at the, well, just kidding. Kayla is going to have a baby soon. So don't email Kayla. But you can reach out to me or to Corey or to YPN, or just slide into somebody's DMs. We'll get you in the right spot. Trey Moody, that's going to be fun. That's going to be one to watch. Trey Moody is going to be in the hot seat next Friday. So check us out again here every Friday at noon for the YPN hot seat. That's all we have. Any, I like this as a parting thing. Best piece of advice or favorite quote to leave the people with?
First piece of advice, and I personally need to adhere to it more, but personal written thank you notes. Thank you notes.
Right.
I need to adhere to that more. Second, one of my favorite quotes of all time that's been my favorite is that when you walk with purpose, you collide with destiny.
Ooh.
So whatever you do it to the best, do it with purpose, and you will collide with your destiny.
I love that. All right. That's all we got. That's what we're ending with. Bye, people. Have an amazing Friday.